Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health impact for October 16th, 2025. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We'll start today by looking at the surface weather map, and we have two massive high pressure areas dominating both the east and the west portions of the United States. And then, of course, hanging right between is a larger low pressure center and cool front stretching all the way from the northern portions of the Dakotas across Nebraska through Kansas into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle back into New Mexico. A lot of unsettled weather ahead and along that front. There are still the remnants of the frontal system hanging over Florida, and we have a new low pressure center trying to push into the Pacific Northwest. Looking at our vitality index, which is a composite index of all of the weather elements that might have some impact on human health, you can see that what we have is much of the central portion of the country lit up with some kind of weather risk. And then, of course, we have that little bit of, shall we call it, east central portions of the United States, mainly the Dakotas and Virginia, where we have some unsettled weather. Looking at pressure change, which is one of the most significant elements of weather impacting a lot of individuals, we have really an area of falling pressure up and down the plains. And that is stretching all the way from the Texas panhandle across Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, taking in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and just hanging along that Canadian border through Montana. Looking at temperature change, another element that can trigger human health, we have rising temperatures in the west, California and Nevada. We have falling temperatures in the Rockies, and that probably means a lot of snow in higher elevations. And we have rising temperatures here in the Dakotas, again associated with that massive low pressure center. Dew point temperature is another issue that we can talk about, and you'll notice there's falling dew point temperatures across much of the Mountain West, falling dew point temperatures up in the middle Atlantic states, Virginia into Pennsylvania. We have some temperature rises down here in Texarkana and right along the Canadian border in Minnesota. You're looking at vapor pressure, which is a stronger element of where the moisture is flowing, and we can see falling or drying vapor pressures up into the Four Corners, and again drying here in the middle Atlantic, Virginia, up into Maryland and southern Pennsylvania. We do have rising vapor pressure here trying to surge into East Texas and Texarkana. We have, again, increasing vapor pressure up here in the extreme north across the Dakotas into Minnesota. And looking at POI, or the measure of the oxygen availability in the atmosphere, you can see that we're looking for a risk of migraine here up through the portions of the Four Corners, with centers most of the activity in New Mexico, although picking up portions of Arizona, moving up into Colorado and Wyoming, and then stretching all the way across and up toward Montana, although it does sort of bulge eastward into Nebraska. So a significant area of migraine here in the high plains. Little bit of migraine risk up here in the Pacific Northwest, but most significant along British Columbia. Jumping to the east, we have a significant area of migraine risk across the Carolinas up into Virginia, Maryland, stretching back all the way into the lower portions of the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, and up across southern Pennsylvania into New Jersey. We have a risk of asthma and arthritis across all of the state of California, stretching into Nevada, and a significant area of asthma and arthritis risk here in the northern plains and up across Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, stretching into Wisconsin. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.